there's no, I don't think nobody's really thinking. And what's really cold, man, is I was talking, like I said, I do a lot of civic stuff now with this Chamber of Commerce. I go to a lot of community meetings, and I'm listening to these people talking about prostitution. Now, as a young dude, I used to always go tease the prostitutes. I used to, hey, wave at them. When they was on Century Boulevard, I mean, they flash your ass in a minute, dude. That was fun, okay, and for a youngster. I'm 16, 17, go by the racetrack. They waiting on the cat to lead the ninth race, so they can try and get their last little trick money. But as a grown ass man with kids, girls, and you see how disrespectful they've become over the few years, and then they get classified as victims. So because they're victims, they get to victimize the community, which I think is the dumbest shit known to man. Think about that, because they may be under the supervision of a pimp, but everybody out there ain't under human trafficking. Everybody's not being human trafficked. Some people up there are out there because they want to, and even if they have a drug habit, pick them up, give them the treatment. But to be able to force kids to be exposed, especially young boys, especially kids, I'm sorry, both of them got issues. I mean, I saw a girl, all she had on was a string bikini and a string bra and some fluffy ass shoes. Okay.
What street was this? What street? Just kidding.
Long Beach Boulevard. I just left a meeting, man, talking about this shit. I turned the corner and there she is walking from a tree. She got on, man, string bikini. It's morning, 11 o'clock. String bikini, string bra, just barely got the nipples covered up, and built like all outdoors. But I'm like, damn. But ain't no. You can't hit them with the indecency program. You can't hit them with certain shit because they're victims. But meanwhile, the community becomes a victim to their victimhood. So you got victims creating victims. That's bullshit. And I don't see it happening in Carson. I don't see it happening in I see it happening. I don't see it happening in Inglewood like it used to be. Damn sure don't happen in Gardena. I'm trying to figure out why the victims is in Compton and not Carson and Inglewood and Paramount. I'm just curious. Linwood, you don't see them out there.
Yeah. That reminds me of the city of Downey. I went to Downey High School, and so I lived there from like 92, maybe to 96. And one of the first things I noticed when I got there, and this was even back in the 90s, if anyone doesn't know Downey is surrounded by Compton to the, south, Linwood, Southgate, Norwalk. And these are all rough, pretty much for the most part, pretty rough areas. And Downey somehow had figured it out to where there's no established gangs in Downey. We've talked about this before. And every time you go to Downey, within 5 to 10 minutes of driving down the street, you see a police officer. So I don't know what they did differently, but yeah, like it's crazy because you're seeing it's the opposite in Compton. All the cities around you have figured it out, but Compton just still hasn't figured it out.
We need to go to Paramount and go get some lessons because Paramount got sheriff, Carson got sheriff, Long Beach and Gardena have their own PDs, Inglewood has their own PD. So and that makes a big difference too. That I found out also when you have your own PD, you have different city municipal codes that you can enforce. But I know, like I said, Carson has PD, Paramount has PD, has the sheriff. So it needs to be. It sounds like it needs to be a conversation with those three sheriff departments so that they can put a squash to the situation because it don't make no sense, man. That it seems like it's like laws don't apply in the hub sometimes.
That kills me, man. It's such a great city with a great history. I mean, going back to, you remember when you could walk down the street and black businesses everywhere. It still trips me out when I think about that just 35, 40, 45 years ago, short years ago, that there were black businesses.
It's still a lot of businesses in Compton. They're just not. There's not it used to be a downtown Compton. There's a downtown now where where the shopping center is right now, the buildings were up against the sidewalk closer. There wasn't, the parking lot was in the back, put it that way, and not the parking lot's in the front. And as you went down Willowbrook, it was all business. And the way you see it after you cross Alameda is how it used to be from Willowbrook. Well, I'm sorry, from Wilmington all the way down. It was storefront businesses the whole damn way. And also I found out that a lot of businesses in the city, a lot of vacant buildings. And rumor has it that those landowners use those buildings as write-offs. So you got property making money over here, someplace else, Beverly Hills, but you buy a piece of property in Compton, don't rent it out to nobody. You just, you don't make no rent, no nothing. And you just let it sit there and write it off as a tax deduction. Well, that's something that the city code got to change. Hey, man, if you got a building in Compton, you got to maintain it. If you don't rent it out, I don't care. But you got to maintain it. You got to fit a certain code. And if you ain't going to rent it out, you damn sure need to do something with it to make it, keep it from being an eyesore in the city.
Let's see what OG Steve says. He says, I know what Lonzo's talking about. When I was a teen, some crackhead hookers used to roll up on you like, what the F, with their breath smell like crack and ass.
Yeah. You know, and you know, it would be different if even the hookers were more respectful, you know, not walk around at first thing in the morning, not, you know, give a school break give the school kids a break to get home. But they like Jack in the Box. They open 24 hours, Doc. You know, they open 24 hours and they blatant with it. And it's like one lady says, you know, she just got pissed off. She said, I came home, I got condoms in the street. I tried to go down the street and the hookers is talking to Johns and through the door, they got the ass all hung up. And they talking about, they get mad at me because I'm honking my horn. I'm trying to get in my driveway. I can't get in my driveway because this heifer got her ass out stuck in this window. It's bullshit, man. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, man. Keep it up, Lonzo. You got some great ideas, especially that snitch idea. Figure it out somehow. We're going to make it work. But since we're halfway through the show, I want to remind everyone to please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. You are tuned in to Not Without Alonzo with Alonzo, the West Coast pioneer, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. Shout out to the chat room. If you have any more questions, please drop them and we'll get to them. Let's jump into something, Lonzo. Let's see here. I don't know much about this, but Deep Blue says, what do you think about Diddy giving his artists back their publishing? Have you heard anything about that?
I heard about that shit. Most of that shit is
talk to me, because I don't understand. You understand the business way more than anybody else. Is it good for Puffy, bad for Puffy, good for the artist? What talk to me?
It's good PR for Puffy. A lot of that shit is worthless. I'm not gonna say worthless, but the value has been sucked out of it already.